Sigma 30mm f1.4 on Fujifilm X-PRo3. I've just bought this lens and I want to share with you my impressions regarding this lens after a day of using this lens in street photography. Let's discuss about Sigma 30mm f1.4 and my impressions regarding this lens, and I will also address how this lens is stacking to 35mm f1.4 and 35mm f2. Let's discuss about this now. Hi there and welcome to my channel. My name is Tudor Matescu and I've just bought Sigma 30mm f1.4 after selling my Magic lens 35mm f1.4 from Fuji. I've decided to sell that lens because I was very frustrated with the AF in low light in night photography, and I discussed about that in this video. Check link in the card. So anyway, here I am with Sigma 30mm f1.4 that I recently bought immediately after selling 35mm f1.4, and I went for a shoot in daylight with this lens, and I want to share with you my first impressions regarding this lens. So if you are liking content like this, please subscribe now to my channel, and let's get to the subject. So as a first impression, when I bought this lens, it was the fact that it's small, it's light, it's acceptable light, and the build quality is good. I really like this lens hood, this thick lens hood, and this matte look. The blacks on this lens are very matte, so this lens will make you more invisible on the street. So I really like that. So the first impressions regarding the build quality are good, and I also like that this lens is having weather sealing on the mount, but from what I've read, it's not fully weather sealed, so I really can't understand why it's happening with these manufacturers by releasing gear that is partially weather sealed, like Fujifilm X100V. So anyway, good quality. The focusing ring, it's nice. The rubber texture focusing ring, it's feeling well in the hand. So it's staying very well on the X-PRo3 body. So it's well balanced. Everything is okay regarding build quality and how this lens is staying on Fujifilm X-PRo3. And probably this lens will stay very well on X-T4, X-T3 and so on. So it's a good match with your Fujifilm camera. I must add another important thing regarding Fujifilm X-PRo3. You'll have a little optical viewfinder blockage when you are looking through your optical viewfinder. When you are looking through your optical viewfinder, you'll see this lens in the frame, you will see the rubber ring in the frame lines. So it's not so usable with the optical viewfinder, it's at the limit. So now let me address the fun factor, the mojoness of this lens. Well, I really don't feel the mojoness with this lens. It's okay because of the field of view, and also because of the f1.4, and also because of the rendering of the Sigma lens. It's something there, but not as with the 35mm f1.4 and other lenses. It's a lens that is helping you do the job, but you don't feel that joy that you are feeling when you are using a lens with a dedicated aperture ring, fully metal build, and so on. So this lens, it's okay, but it's not a lens that will thrill you. Wow, I will take now this lens and do some shots. It's a lens that it's helping you get the job done, and it's helping you to be more invisible, I would say, because of this matte black finish. So I'm not thrilled regarding the design and the ergonomics of this lens, because now I am getting to the aperture ring. I think on Fujifilm you really need the aperture ring, or Fujifilm needs to make a firmware update if they are accepting third-party lenses without aperture rings. that will offer us the chance to change aperture by one stops using the rear dial or the front dial and so on. Because when you are on the streets, and let's say you are doing contextual street photography, but also the lighting is changing, and let's say you want to do some portraits, some candid shots, then you want to put the aperturing at f1.4, and going from f8 or f5.6 to f1.4 by using the rear dial, it's a real pain. It's not usable, it's not ergonomical. But if the firmware, it will permit to change aperture in increments of one stop, then this will be another story. So the missing ring, it's really killing your Mojoness when you are on the streets, because you'll start bump up this wheel, and I don't know, I really don't like it at all. On Lumix GX9, and check my review regarding Lumix GX9 versus XE4, you have the option to set the aperture to change between full stops, and also the ISO and so on, and I think this is also on Olympus. I'm not very sure at this moment, but I am pretty sure that I know this setting, it's on a Micro Four Thirds camera. So for this to work, for third-party lenses to work well with Fujifilm, I really think that we need a firmware update that it's offering us the chance to change aperture in full stops. Now let's discuss about the IQ and the rendering of this lens. I feel the rendering, it's specific Sigma rendering. You have Sigma colors, Sigma rendering, and it's nice, it's modern, but also with Sigma color signature and the Sigma optical renderings, they are there, but I feel for the moment this lens, it's not very sharp at f1.4, or the micro contrast is not as good as the 35mm f1.4. So IQ, it's okay, and again I'm thinking at the price of this lens. This lens can be bought at a very good price. So for the price, it's okay, but I feel it's under the 35mm f1.4 from a rendering point of view. And now let's talk about AFC or AFS with this lens. I feel that AFS, it's acceptable good. It is faster than and more accurate than 35mm f1.4, but not by much. I feel this lens, it's having some problems in difficult lighting situations when the sun is behind the subject. But I also feel that this lens, it will perform better in AFC. As a Fujifilm shooter, I'm used to use lenses in AFS, but I feel that I need to use this lens more in AFC with tracking. So I will see if in those conditions the AF will be better. But overall, I feel that AFC and AFS are a little better than the 35mm f1.4. And yes, the motor is silent, but it's not about that. You really need a fast AF and an accurate AF. And now let's compare a little, for my user experience, the 30mm f1.4 with the 35mm f2 and the 35mm f1.4 from Fujifilm. Well, the 35mm f2, it is faster, it is lighter, it is metal built, you have the aperture ring. But what is bothering me regarding this 35mm lenses, it's the field of view. The 54mm field of view on the streets, I feel it's very limiting, it's very tight. I really wanted for my style of shooting a wider field of view, and I like the 40mm field of view, and this is a 45mm field of view. So I like this field of view. This is where Sigma is winning for me, because it's having this good field of view for my style of shooting. And now comparing this lens with the 35mm f1.4, what I can say, it's I like more the 35mm f1.4 rendering, that good looking rendering, that magic rendering. Sigma rendering, it's not as magic as the 35mm f1.4, but you have a more accurate AF, so this was important for me. But regarding image quality, if I really want to obtain that beautiful rendering, I can't obtain it with Sigma. Yes, you'll get the job done with this lens, but if you want that lens for what it is, for that magical look, don't look at Sigma. And I don't know if the 36mm f1.4 from Fuji, it's an option, because that 35mm f1.4 had a special old vintage rendering in the images at f1.4. Even if at pixel level it's not sharp, the images have a very nice bite to it when the AF is able to get the shot. So overall, I feel that if you like the rendering of the 35mm f1.4 and you don't like the AF, you will not replace the 35mm f1.4 with this lens. So if you have the budget, in my opinion, it's go with Sigma and also keep 35mm f1.4 for what it is. This lens, it will not replace the 35mm f1.4 depending on what you want. But if you like that lens for portraits and for that rendering, and if you don't do street photography by night very often, then stick with 35mm f1.4. But if you want to use a lens in low light and by night, I feel that this lens, it will deliver better results than the 35mm f1.4 from Fuji. But how I said, these are my first impressions and I really need to test this lens by night to see if I will get better results. But from my testing in studio, indoors, in low light situations, I feel that yes, this lens has a better AF, a more accurate AF. So in conclusion, did I upgrade for 35mm f1.4 to Sigma 30mm f1.4? Well, I feel the answer, it depends. It really depends. I love that lens for the rendering, but I hate it because in real world use, I've got 10 to 50% missed shots. So the problem was, can I accept those missed shots? For me, when I decided to sell that lens, I was thinking, no, I can't accept 50% missed shots, because if I like a shot and I'm really missing it, what is the purpose in the end? So I was thinking that yes, I can accept a more modern looking lens than that lens, but get the shot in focus, in acceptable focus, because how I said, that lens was always going behind the subject or was starting to hunt in bad lighting conditions in 50%, 10% of the times. But now I feel, how I've said, that Sigma, it's a good performer lens. It will do the job, but it will not replace the 35mm f1.4. I feel that Sigma will give you lesser frustration than 35mm f1.4, but it will also give you some frustration. The AF, it's not blazing fast like the 35mm f2. It's doing the job. It's fast. It's acceptable. It's not there like other lenses. So for the price, thinking again at the price and for the field of view, I think it's a go-to lens for the moment. Because I like this field of view, I feel that on my Fujifilm X-PRo3 Sigma will stay more and I will use it more to see how this lens will perform for me. But again, yes, I feel that I need to use this lens more to get accustomed with the Sigma signature and to see if that Sigma signature is working for me. So overall, I will use this lens more and take this lens with me in a photography night work, see what results I will get there, and I will make a new review regarding this lens after that night photo work. So please be sure to subscribe to see that review when it will come out. So overall, I'm satisfied with this lens, but I'm not thrilled. I'm not wow, what a major update I did, what a extraordinary exchange I did. No, the lens is good, but the 35mm f1.4 has an unique magic. So if you can have them both in your Fujifilm kit, get them both. So you will not regret selling the 35mm f1.4 lens from Fujifilm. Thank you for watching this video and please subscribe now to my channel and leave me a comment. Thank you and bye bye.